NewGenGamers.com.
Now, if you look at the games for the N64, it didn't have as many games as the PlayStation by far. But if you look at the great games, say if you were picking this up as a collector's piece, there are a lot of really, really great games.
The quality of the titles are really what's going to stand out to you.
And here is one of those quality titles, the follow-up to the uber successful Super NES Super Mario Kart.
Yes, in fact, I think if you discount all the massive piles of RPGs that you have for the PlayStation 1, that it had roughly the same amount of quality titles that the 64 did.
Which pretty much signifies... Pretty much signifies that Square's turn over to Sony was a huge factor. An absolutely huge factor into this.
It was everyone leaving them. I mean, Square, Namco, Capcom, Konami, everyone ditched Nintendo because of the rough treatment during the Super NES era, which we'll probably get more into that during the Super NES era. And we'll get into the dirty double crosses that went down between Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah, because that had a lot to do with the SNES CD peripheral that never saw the light of day.
Which we'll go into probably in the Sony one. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, either that or, I think we'll cover that in the PlayStation one, because that's more of how PlayStation came about than...
Yeah, it directly led to their involvement in the industry. So you're going to have to watch that one to get the whole story. But we are playing one of the super duper awesome N64 titles, which you could play with 4 friends, or 3 friends, or 4 friends if you're insane.
3 if you like a map.
and it was great competitive fun. And just like most of Nintendo's games, it doesn't have to be competitive to be fun multiplayer, and that's something that Americans don't seem to get. And I guess it's just our culture. We're a warlike people.
Well, they used to get it. I think it's just, we're changing people. Our society is, it has a reflection on our society.
Yeah, and Nintendo is very adamant about releasing these types of games as your multiplayer experience. This is a healthy, hearty, good time between friends or family, and that's what they push. You can call them gay and kiddie if you want because of that, but hey, I don't see anything wrong with that,
No, all their games, the thing about Nintendo games is you always know you're going to get a fun time and a good experience and solid control.
Yeah, and that's why they hold up. If they had that attitude and their games sucked, no one would give a crap. But, when you make the best games, you can dictate how things are, and I don't necessarily see a problem with being wholesome, and that's always been their market strategy. I looked at an interview with Hiroshi Yamauchi shortly before the PSP came out, and he was talking about how Sony threw all these new items in their handheld system, and he's like, that's great. We love competition. What we do is look at the competition, see what works, see what doesn't, improve upon it where necessary, and that's really been the paramount that they've stuck by and always just focused on that.
And could be why the DS is absolutely myrtleizing the PSP right now.
Could also be why.
Have you not been playing the whole time?
No, I've been playing.
3, which would be Luke, I assume.
Yeah, he's 3. I'm 2.
You can't. Aren't you driving or?
Are you stuck? What are you doing? Press A. Is your A work? Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Luke. We would have.
I was paying attention.
I was running my
Toad.
mouth.
I thought I was Toad. That was my bad.
Oh yeah. Well, you were winning.
Wow.
And
that's why I picked the same character.
And this
time.
is what made these great games fun, because you get to laugh at your dumbass friends. I mean, you don't get that in a single player game. That kind of experience, like what the hell are you doing? You know?
And
What were you doing? What was happening there? You're not Toad. Come on.
and the fact that they are goofy and, more arcade-like, it permits you to laugh at yourself more than it does to, along with your friends laughing at you.
Yeah, it's not the serious.
You got shot in the head. Ooh, it sucks.
Yeah, I just pwned you, faggot. You with these games, you get that sit down with your friends experience, and that's one thing I don't like about Xbox Live is because
Too much trash talk.
trash talk only because you're not there. If you were sitting down beside that person, you wouldn't be running your mouth that way. It really is.
Exactly
It is
true.
noobish cowardice, and I'm gonna call them out. You want to sit down and have a real match, sit down and play with some buddies on Mario Kart 64 and say, look at that, bitches, I haven't played this in 5 years, and we win. Because Toad is the best guy on here, I will always dispute that. I always go with him on Mario Kart.
Well,
I don't
he's
know.
good and light.
He's good and light, good in the cornering. He's like a monk, my fantasy class is monk, so he's the closest thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's Mario Kart 64, another stellar Nintendo EAD title for the 64.
Yeah, tons of those came out. It was a really great time for Nintendo as a developer. As a hardware maker, they were having some issues, but as a developer, it was hands down the best.
You're about to embark on the most exciting journey of your life. Come, gentlemen, come.
Fasten your seatbelts for a 360-degree burnout. Precision handling for 1 to 4 drivers. New Mario Kart 64. It really kicks asphalt.
UJGers.com.